Listen to Kicking the Capstone with Bob Brutus immediately following the views expressed live.
Putting the local back into radio.
Sharing the truth one fact at a time. This is the Free America Radio Network.
Hey folks, this is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce for a little mini podcast. Actually, this is the 5th of June, 2014. I gotta put it out here, and I've heard a recent video put up by Mark Dice, and I've researched various religions out, over the years, various, offshoots, various philosophies, and I gotta tell you, this whole Illuminati, push by Mark Dice it's not getting old, but it's getting very informative in terms of the content. Now, I've known that Los Angeles and the music industry has been filled with, dark philosophies, dark entities. I mean, even the performers are sometimes caught up in the hype of what the controllers believe. And it's not necessarily that the performers believe it, but they get caught up in the hype, and they get caught up in their own, ego, because they have controllers. These performers have controllers around them, stroking their egos 24/7. So you got that, and there are certain people throughout the music business who have left and became, have given their soul to God, have become Christians and that kind of thing, or have just stepped away to do other things to get away from all of that music and all of, what is claimed and alleged to be behind the scenes. Now, granted, those individuals may not believe in Satan, may not believe in Lucifer, and may not believe in dark magic and all this, that, and the other thing. But the controllers themselves, who are controlled by others, believe this. And so they're going to move into this direction. And it's all about power and control, folks. It's all about stroking the ego and making you feel as if you're 10 feet tall when, in fact, if you're not as good as your last record, you become 2 inches tall. So it is what it is, and there is a definite push in Hollywood to from the controllers and those being controlled to identify with quote-unquote Illuminati types that would then, help you with your career and this kind of thing. And it's I've seen articles and reports and stuff like that from the darkest parts of Hollywood in terms of drug abuse, alcoholism, massive psychological problems with people that have gotten into pornography and gotten into that type of adult entertainment and have really screwed their lives up and really been pushed beyond their limits, because people can only sustain a lifestyle of destruction for so long until they're destroyed. And I've seen it, and I've personally been witnessed to several incidences in my life growing up and watching how these people went from, yes, this is what I do now, to several years later looking like what the cat drugged in or coughed up on your rug. And it's like, it's, I'm not saying that all of Hollywood is like that, but there is a subculture in Hollywood that pushes that whole genre of, or even philosophies of being so, looked upon and put up on a pedestal, and the fans just adore you and all this. So you got to keep up that energy, and so it really starts to tear you apart. And people that have lived through it can tell you that as well. But it's so I don't know if I should believe Mark Dice But I do believe the research that I've done throughout the years about the dark side of entertainment, and it is, what it is. I mean, you can read it in the papers. You can go check it out yourself. John Belushi, John Candy, River Phoenix, that kind of thing. Was it River Phoenix or Joaquin Phoenix? I don't know which one. So, Heath Ledger, I mean, that kind of thing. You can look at all of this and, see where their mind is at a certain point, and it usually, from what you have seen in the news and in the entertainment field, you see this whole idea that they're invincible, and then all of a sudden that you hear on the news that they've accidentally overdosed on something like Dave Brockie, who was horrendous, or who was the lead singer for Gwar, who recently passed away of as the coroner put it, accidental overdose. No, he didn't accidentally stick the needle in his arm or whatever it was. He overdosed, and he died. And so, you can look back in the 60s, Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, they all, got to the height of their career and thought that they were invincible and needed more to stay up, to stay afloat, to stay, at that higher energy level to perform for their adoring public, But some people have mental problems also, such as Freddie Prinze Sr., who could not handle the fame, back in the 70s. And of course, Kurt Cobain, who couldn't handle the fame and the adoration of his fans. And, but there's some, alleged information behind that scene as well. But there's just so much, you don't always have to be on all the time. I come from an entertainment background. I come from a theater background. I have, talked to the audience after shows, and, people have seen me later. And it's like, you don't always have to be on. You're a normal, well, as much as you can be in the entertainment field, normal. You're just a normal everyday person that goes to the grocery store and goes to the mall and hangs out with your friends, I mean, but when you get into Hollywood, you get into this, there's this subculture of people. I don't even want to call it a subculture. It's like a back door to another, realm of Hollywood that is just so dark and deadly and destructive. And you're lucky to be on screen. You're lucky to be in the limelight, but, your controllers who are being controlled are telling you, well, your fans adore you, so you have to be on all the time. You have to be, here, let's go to this photo shoot. Let's go to this talk show. Let's go here. Let's go there. And you're doing, 20 different things in 1 week because, you're popular. And it's like, well, fame and popularity is not all that it's cracked up to be. Okay? So, and the level of energy that you have to stay at that level is just incredible. And so if and the lies that people tell you, even the entertainers that are up there, oh yeah, I can handle this, oh yeah, but they're on drugs and they're drinking and they're, doing stupid things, and they just get to that point where, they get caught and then they get burnt out. And they go into rehab, and it's a hard existence mentally, not so much physically, even though that is affected, but mentally it is a very, very difficult place to be. Like I said, I got an entertainment background. I come from the theater world, and you see it there as well. And it's very, very difficult to mentally pull yourself away from your work to just relax and be normal and be with your family and be with your friends. It is difficult at times, So, but and you can read stories about that throughout the ages as well. But I wanted to my big point is, after all of that, the big point is the Illuminati actually the people that are pushing the buttons behind the scenes in Hollywood? Are they the ones pulling the handles behind the scenes in Anaheim or Burbank or, any place else? Are they the ones that make the deals? Who knows? I mean, if Mark Dice has some inside information from, these Illuminati groups that are out there, and they're all over the place with different names, if he's got inside information, he better just come right out and say, this is who told me, and this is why I wrote this book, or whatever, But how can you sustain a lifestyle that is mentally tearing you apart? I mean, it's just, it's one of those things, you have to really consider. It's like, do you have the mental and psychological stamina to keep up with it without having to get artificial stimulus to keep you going? Are you able to do that? Well, there have been rare cases that people do that. I mean, and they've become very successful, but they've learned how to, manage themselves, in certain situations, and they know how to play to the cameras. They know how to play on the microphone. They know how to, contribute, their stories, their films and their information to the general public without sounding like they're on 5 or 6 different drugs, or drunk off their butt, but because they're clean, they don't do any of that. And so those are the ones that I believe, are more successful. But I don't know. I myself could be wrong. I'm not quite sure. But I wanted to say that. So if Mark Dice does have insider information, he should come out and just say, this is what I've heard from this person over at this studio. Same with Corey Feldman said that he was abused. Not he, but there was child abuse and pedophilia going on in Hollywood, and he knows producers and directors that have done it, and he's not coming out and saying anything. Well, last time I checked, pedophilia was against the law. Well, why doesn't Corey Feldman just come right out and say it? Well, because he's in the entertainment business, and he's not had a movie out in recent years, and so he doesn't want to burn that bridge. Well, either get into the independents and work your way up, get into entertainment, into the independent filmmaking and direct and do your own thing and reveal all the names, or else just leave the country and reveal all the names, So, but it goes on and on and on. I mean, it is from other people, not just Corey Feldman, but from other people as well, that you hear about it, and they don't talk about it in depth, but they say, well, certain things go on that I don't want to talk about. And you can pretty much put 2 and 2 together after that. But it's, it's difficult. It's difficult, mentally difficult. Physically, I don't think there's a problem if you keep yourself clean and, keep yourself focused on what you want to do and not get involved in all that stuff. But mentally, it just tears you apart. But anyway, enough of that. I just wanted to put that out there because I find it interesting. I do. I find it very, very interesting. So if you want to email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. That's freeamericaradio@usa.com. And I got one more subject to talk about, and then we'll call it a day, and you can come join me on The Views Expressed live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Free America Radio Network on Spreaker.com. And you can also hear it on freeamericaradio.us, wakingupthemasses.com, and on 1610 AM in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. That's The Views Expressed live, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Free America Radio Network. I shall return right after this. Listen to the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. Please join me on the Views Express Live, Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. Hey, folks, this is the Wayne S. Pierce Show mini podcast. Yeah, it's mini because it's not going to go an hour. So, anyway, come join me live tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific, 3 Eastern on the Wayne S. Pierce Show right here on Free America Radio Network. And welcome back. I wanted to get into something that, in the last segment here of the mini podcast. There's a lot of people looking at this situation with Bergdahl, and I don't know enough about it or have researched enough to really tell you exactly the specifics. There's a lot of theories out there. There's a lot of speculation, but I can tell you this much. Let me generalize this, my view on this and give you an overview. If anybody goes from, they're out in the field, they're out, protecting this country or out in the, in a battlefield, and they just drop their weapon and go to the other side, that to me is treason. That to me is defector. Means defecting. And I just, I think of it this way. If that's what Bo Bergdahl did, well, then he should be tracked down and tried for treason. And tried for desertion. And his father is no different. If his father is coming to the White House, standing in front of the president at the podium, and then, says something in Aramaic, or, it's Arabic. That's what it is. I mean, if he says something to the general public in Arabic, basically to the tune of just, saying he, says something, somebody said it was to the effect that he was taking over the White House in the name of Allah. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold on. If that's the case, then we are at war. Then we've been invaded. Then we have to go after our enemies. That's my opinion from my perspective. Again, I don't know too much about this. I don't know the specific details. But I can tell you that if he's defected to the other side, then he's become the enemy of the United States of America. That's just the way it is. I mean, that's as far as I know about military justice, because I was in the military, that basically, he defected. That was it. He's an enemy of the state now. I mean, So, but anyway, excuse me. There are certain, if I can talk, stupid sinuses, that kind of crap going on. If I can talk. Lips and tongue form words. They work. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to mention was we look at this whole geopolitical arena, and there's no clear-cut winners. There's no clear-cut winners. You may say, well, this person said this. You may look at these people and say there's a winner and a loser. There really isn't. And I'll tell you why. Because even in this Bergdahl controversy, this whole thing, there is no clear-cut winner. There's only a better person. There's no winner. Well, what about the president? No. Let me specify for you. All your politicians in Washington, D.C., including the president and vice president, are selected. There is no clear-cut winner. They are all selected. There is no winner or loser. There is no. There's someone who became better, was selected to be put in that position, and all the other people just stood around and applauded and conceded to their to their win or whatever. I don't want to call it a winner-loser situation, but it was the better person of the group. Well, you call that a winner. No. Not when the person that you claim to be winner is pre-selected for that position. You can't say there's a winner and loser. Okay? You just can't. There's no way. And besides that, who is, well, let's go this direction now. Let's flip that coin over. Who is the winner and loser after these people are selected to be in their positions? Who is the winner? The general public? No. No, because we're the ones that are getting, all the crap thrown at us from these dictators and tyrants in Washington, D.C. Now, and that's just the way it is. And you can look at it any way you want. But from my perspective, this is what I see, and this is my opinion. But as far as winners and losers, I don't think there's clear-cut winners and losers. If you know that the best man won out, but he was also pre-selected to be in that position, would you say that there was a fair competition for, quote-unquote winners or losers? No, I don't think so. I think there was, in this 2008 election, 2012 election, prior to 2008, you never heard of this 2-year senator, the sophomore senator named Barack H. Obama. You never heard of him until about November, December of 2007, maybe started getting a little more popular around February, March of 2008. You started hearing more about him. And then in the summer of 2008, when all of the campaigns started ramping up, you started hearing about this person. And then, of course, the debates and all this, that, and the other thing. And he said what he said, and he's the typical personification of what I say and what other people say. Politicians are going to say whatever they want on the campaign trail, but once they get into office, they're just going to say, screw the people, I'm going to do what I want. So that's the problem. And a lot of people don't see that. A lot of people can't understand that, and I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. And so here he was coming from behind. No one ever heard of him, and he was selected, I would even say, by the spring of 2008. He was selected to be president, obviously, because certain elements that control the elections in the United States of America had already decided that that's what he wanted, because if you look and you hear the previous, in that election year, people were talking about, a black president, a woman president. Hillary was running at the time. So not only was she in the forefront, saying, and people were talking about a woman president, but then somebody came up with the bright idea of start talking about a black president. Well, Obama isn't black, or he's black and white. He's not just a black person. He's both. And even then, I don't know how true that is, because no one knows. I mean, Joel Gilbert, who did Dreams of My Real Father, exposing certain things behind the scenes about his mother, about Obama's mother, about his father, that kind of thing. Frank Marshall Davis is alleged father of Barack Obama, but who knows? But all of that is second compared to the fact that no matter who it is that you like in the campaigns, it's probably not going to wind up being that person, because they've already got their puppet already picked out. Their puppet for 2016 is already selected. That's what is going on right now. And because of everything else that's going on, you don't hear too much about Benghazi, but it's still in the news. You don't hear too much about a lot of other things. Now you have this thing with Bo Bergdahl, and it's all a distraction, people, to keep you away from what's happening behind the scenes. And frankly, I'm sick and tired of it. I don't know about you. I'm just seriously sick and tired of it. Just turn off your TV, get rid of your cable, and just listen to independent alternative media, because they're right and everybody else is wrong. So the state-run media is wrong. Let's put it this way. The state-run media is wrong. And even in the independent and alternative medias, you have to discern who's telling the truth and who's not, or who's holding back and who isn't. So you got to think about that as well. So there you go. Come join me on the Views Expressed live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Free America Radio Network on Spreaker.com. And also, the Views Expressed live is broadcast live on WakingUpTheMasses.com, FreeAmericaRadio.us, and on 1610 a.m. in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. And we will be broadcasting today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. It will be live, so it's not going to be a podcast. So anyway, I hope to see you in the chat room. If you want to chat with me during the show, go to Spreaker.com, look for Free America Radio Network, look for the Views Expressed Live, and click on that and join me in the chat room. Or you can go to freeamericaradio.us, and that little, you'll see the play button up there, and you'll see the words live. Click on the play button, and you'll hear me live. You can also interact with me there as well in the Spreaker chat or in the chat room there on the website. Usually I'm in the Spreaker chat, so catch me in the Spreaker chat. So anyway, folks, it's always fun to come to you with information that I have, that I find important, that I hope that I can encourage you to go examine yourself. And if you want to support Free America Radio Network, we're going to the next level, folks, so your support is very much appreciated. Go to freeamericaradio.us, scroll on down to the bottom of the screen, and you'll see a donate button there. If you'd like to donate, please do. Even $1, folks. I mean, just help us in any way that you can, get us to the next level, and we will definitely credit you for that in our shows. And also, if you want to sponsor the Wayne S. Pierce Show, please do. I would love the support. Go to thewaynespearceshow.weebly.com, go to the sponsors page, and right then and there, you're going to see the rates that I have that are chiseled in concrete. You're not going to pay any more than that, folks. It's not going to break your budget. The WayneSPierceShow.weebly.com site. Click on the sponsors page. And if you have any questions, of course, let me know. Email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Also, folks, I know this is a tough time for everybody, and we're all wondering when the crap is going to hit the fan. But if you want to be safe and want to have your emergency food supply ready just in case, go to freeamericaradio.us and click on the emergency food supply tab at the top of the page. Get as much food as you like. It not only helps you out, it helps out Free America Radio Network get to the next level. So talk to you later on the Views Express live today at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on Free America Radio Network, WakingUpTheMasses.com, freeamericaradio.us, and 1610 in the AM in the Chickamauga, Georgia area. Talk to you later. Have fun.